I suppose in a human sense, the mind has so many choices. To experience on behalf of that what it serves. Mind can go through life, go through this body existence, wondering about the universe, wondering about what it is, wondering about the vastness of it, wondering about if there's more, if there's an end to the universe. One can spend a life living and looking at its direct surroundings on a community basis, just learning and interacting and practicing the old ways and inventing the new ways in a very simple and average life. One can have a drive that wants to taste everything. It wants to really engage itself into sex, drugs, alcohol. Into the arts, into music. One is really exploring its creative ways, needs, desires, wants. One maybe has no quality of mind, is maybe born with no understanding of what human is or where human is, and just, it's a horrible word, but just simply vegetates through life and seems to be non-present, non-existent, and non-cooperative, non-compliant, non-communicative, with no intent, just an inability to take on board the human process, the human ways, the human mind, understanding the logic. One can use this mind to be in awe. Be in awe of everything that it encounters. Just gasp at the most unusual or simple things. One can sacrifice their life and give it to another human, a partner, can offer it to the world, and accept that slavery role, put everything else first, put the world first, put the whole of life as a more important role to play. One can walk around life not giving a hoot, no concerns. No, I don't care. I don't care what I do. I don't care what's going on. I don't have to comply and follow and engage with the things I'm supposed to. I don't have to go to university or college or school. I don't have to go through the rituals of marriage, and I'm just going to disobey and be disobedient, and and all of these states, and many more, of course, there appears to be a someone or a something that is witnessing or observing these states. And that one sometimes feels so connected to it that it feels uncomfortable. I wish I could get out of this state. I wish I could go into another state. I wish I could play that role. I wish I could play this role. And then that one becomes multi-personal. And mental illness calls it personality disorders or schizophrenia, paranoia. But the fact is, the point of this is we just don't know. Whether you're a Buddhist monk that sits under a bonsai tree every day of your life, or whether you're an office worker trying to work out the finances of the company or the country, or whether you're a dictator wanting to gain power and run the world, or whether you're a minuscule, insignificant form that just fumbles about life, not really understanding or forming any relationships or whatever. You just don't know. What enlightenment throws up is so the same possibilities, but with no flavor. There's no flavor to life, no flavor to the things that the mind would often grab onto or shy away from. There's just an eerie presence. And different questions arise. Why am I sitting here? Why this? I can do arithmetic. I can, not that I do it often, but I can look at how many views, how many likes, how many dislikes, how many comments, how many of this, how many of that. And you find yourself not really interested in even talking. And you find that there appears to be subjects trying to raise themselves through an egoistic way. And you find that something really, how can you have no interest? 0% interest in all aspects of life. How can you speak that and then pretend to have an interest in enlightenment or non-duality or beingness? When the tire is flat, it's flat. It takes a lot of effort to get to the place with 4 flat tires. With 1 flat tire, it'll get there quick, but it'll be a kind of bumpy ride. When a speaker says nothing is happening, nothing's taking place, it means they're not present, their mind's not present, their identities, the information, all the stuff that they had is not appearing to shine in front of them anymore. But if nothing is happening, why is it we have to come onto a social media website and tell the world that nothing's happening? When really we know that it's happening for them. And if nothing's happening for you, what wants to broadcast it? What wants to talk about it? What wants to convey it? One of the most flat things to come from enlightenment is, this body will die. This body will fade. This body will transcend, same as every other body. And it's probably very close, not far away. So, what you have to say is not really relevant to your history or your journey or your story or what you base yourself or this life around. Whether you base yourself as a self or as an emptiness or as a Buddhist or as a Vedanta or as a man or as a being or as a form or as consciousness or as a person or as a soul or as a spirit. These are words that just kind of they're not even affected by the flat tire, driving over them. There's no hurt. There's no sensations of feeling unworthy because you only have this amount of views, or really joyful when the views spiral out of control. It's not important, you see. It's not important for anyone to listen. Because if you're saying nothing's happening, what are you expecting the listener to, how are you expecting the listener to respond as his mind? Nothing is happening is still being advocated, broadcast, projected by a mental constructed body. It's arising from the true place of being, the true creative place of things happening or not happening. But we just make fun of ourselves when we tell each other's different things about how beautiful it is for me, or how beautiful it is for you, or what the possibilities are if you do it this way, or what's going on that way. It's just a flat journey, a flat line journey with spirals, with fluctuations, and if you continue to speak, U.G. Krishnamurti or Jiddu Krishnamurti at their prime were the most intellectual speakers. I mean, any speaker at their prime that has recognized something beyond this flat life. But after a while they get jaded. And it's just like the human life. When you get older, you become really flat. The youngsters say, no, yeah, that one was really interesting. It's like the football player when he was 25 and he was hitting peak, scoring 100 goals. And when he's 38, yes, he's really at the end of his career, He's only scored 10 goals this season, and he's still got it, He's still got it. He hasn't lost that flair, that flavour. But he's fading. So every day you say, what's the point? What's the point? There's no point. And there's no point. And your body is saying, okay, stop climbing onto this chair. So stop repeating yourself as a parrot. Stop conforming to the social media websites. Stop interacting with those that really not giving a hoot. And quite rightfully, why would you care about another one's life? About another one's journey, another one's quality. You're here alone to understand fully what you are here to understand. I'm not here to tell you what you are here to understand. Maybe you've already got it. Maybe you're just one of these qualities that I mentioned at the beginning. I'm just here to be in nature. That's all I'm here to be. I'm not really caring about helping the blind or the poor, or I'm not here about taking orders anymore. I'm just here to walk in nature. You see, that's what I do. And that's not going to be forever. Whether mentally or psychologically, you cannot not continue to walk in nature, because your body will stop allowing it to do these things, to go into certain places, and it will need sticks, it will need assistance, it will need care, balance. So it's ongoing. What happens next? No one knows. So you cannot longer say, this talking has to stop. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes. I don't know. And I want to leave this video with a not knowing. It's 100% not knowing. I 100% know that I 100% don't know anything about God, anything about consciousness, anything about non-duality, anything about life, awakening, Because the mind, when it gets a little flicker of knowing, jumps up to attention and says, yes, I'll help you out. Just like it's helping me out now. Absolutely no interest to be here. But loving the opportunity to be here as the non-interested. I maybe should look back at some of the videos and see how really drab and boring and uninteresting they are. But again, that's a mind wanting to give it quality, wanting to give it measurement, wanting to give it marks. So the hell with that. It's past. Life is passing. That's the most precious gift, to understand that the passing is being experienced as the passing. You know, and if you learn nothing, you learn anything from your life. That's what I learned the most. The object or the form wants to experience something passing, and it wants to have an outcome. That's the mind. But the lesson, the learning is, there is no form experiencing the passing. There is only the passing experiencing itself as passing. The thought of dying only wants to arise to experience itself as the dying thought. Just like the living thought wants to experience itself as the living thought. Just as the blinking thought wants to experience itself as the blinking thought. Job done. Just as the talking thought wants to experience itself as the talking thought. I is no longer passing, I is past. I has been seen through and as something witnessing itself passing. And the passing, whether you call it change, whether you call it flowing life, whether you call it movement, emotional stimulation, essential conscious life, is that I am. Forget about God. Forget about spirit, soul. Discover that what is not passing. That what is not passing is passing. You won't get that once. That what is not passing is passing. Passing is not passing. Passing is the experience of seeing itself passing. Passing is still moving. There you go. That's really interesting. That's really informative. That's really challenging. Excite yourself with these words. Or, like all words, simply let them pass. And be in the passing. Until no more passing. No more speaking. No more understanding. No more needing to know. Please don't give me any information. If you do, it will just be another passing. Another passing thought. This body was born in 1959. And I've watched all the years since then pass. All the birthdays pass. All the experiences pass. All the relationships pass. And now, I'm going to watch my date of birth pass. I may have to edit a few seconds. There you go. No more.